Hello, Steve here. Welcome to Real Health. Who'd have thought health is about what we're eating? Join me on my quest to disseminate my go-to health regimen, the Health 44, my clumsy branding of eliminating 4 classes of food, introducing 4 classes of micronutrients. Bingo, bongo, health sorted. So thank you for your interest. Let's do this. Right, today critiquing the Framingham Health Study, Framingham Heart Study that started after the Second World War, 1948, 5,000 plus participants, into the 3rd generation now, and also taking in diversity. It was mainly white people from the Boston area. That's where Framingham is. And here's a critique. All these critiques will be poo-pooing the study, because I believe that all these large-scale epidemiological studies are shoehorning health principles. Our feelings, we're using our feelings into health research and then establishing guidelines in this shoehorning of our emotions and feelings in health. We need to exercise. You need to exercise to be healthy. You don't. If you want to look okay and attract a mate, to look athletic and whatnot, sure. But you better supplement more micronutrients. Okay, we need to supplement these days because our food supply chain is impaired. The people that believe that we can get all our micronutrients from the established diet that we have, it's not dependable. Okay, so the guidelines that got brought out with the Framingham study over all these generations, there's also a Framingham health score, your 10-year risk of cardiovascular disease. Then in the 3rd iteration of the study, which is still ongoing, examining dementia, diabetes, those sort of conditions, which rounds out the whole metabolic syndrome complex. And that is shoehorning as well, and poo-pooing saturated fat, poo-pooing cholesterol levels and the like. And many other epidemiological health studies have just shoehorned that same idea with no mention of micronutrients. It's a travesty. It's choose any other word you want to choose. So, and the whole idea of every year, a couple of years, questionnaires, interviews, what do you eat? Do you think that, for starters, people know what they're really actually eating versus vanity reporting? Oh yes, vegetables. Rather than once a week, they're probably saying, oh yes, every day. Yeah, that sort of thing. In 1960, they might suggest, oh no, I'm cutting back on meat, because already there was issues. Oh yeah, I'm giving up smoking. Smoking was, the Framingham study said don't smoke. What sort of millions of dollars in a health study required that as a guideline? So, and also it's indicated that it's helped out reducing cardiovascular disease in the population. I'm thinking, oh really now? If it has, since 1948, yes, we've probably increased our life expectancy by 20 plus years, but we're still dying of cardiovascular disease, and still there's people in their 40s, 50s, 60s dying of heart attacks, stroke as well, aneurysm, this, and cholesterol is blamed. Get your LDL under 150 and then under 100, 100, and then under 90, under 60. Like, how much lower can we go? Tighten up those levels to cut down on early mortality. It's insane. It's insane. Also, diabetes. Used to be 8 plus. Now it's 6.5 plus. You're diabetic with your fasting blood sugar levels using the millimoles scale. Oh yeah, just. There was a time when 160 on 120, 160 on 100, those sort of blood pressure levels were, take medication. Now, if you're 125 on 85, take medication. There's no mention. There's no mention of micronutrients. Cholesterol, not fully understood. Yes, your body has cholesterol. It doesn't mean that you need to take cholesterol. You need to have some more cholesterol intake in your diet. And just a few eggs won't help. Like, you need to have runny eggs, soft boiled, soft scrambled, soft, whichever you're, just not fried. Just don't fry your eggs. Saturated fat is not a villain. Comes across as a villain. It's communicated as a villain. It's blamed as a villain. Further iterations of the, yes, I'm jumping around, but that's what you're getting today. I always jump around anyway. And then you forget what I was going to say. Micronutrients. Okay. Some of the illnesses that are blamed on saturated fat, too much saturated fat intake, too much cholesterol intake, high blood pressure. It might be a combination of oils and sugar intake, which also includes too much or excessive amounts of fruit and veg. Oh yes, oh yes. Not enough calcium methylation, absorption, digestion, leading to issues of kidney issues. There might be a magnesium and a calcium combined issue with blood pressure. There might be a kidney blockage, which is based on too much any oils. And the sort of saturated fat I'm talking about, which I advocate for, is from meat, dairy products, and eggs. So it's not fully understood, this whole cholesterol thing. And with the diabetes and the blood pressure, I suffered from the whole metabolic syndrome complex, including the whole obesity thing, which was very visual. And my whole metabolic syndrome complex is done, is sorted, is cured by micronutrients. And we need to digest those micronutrients, we need to absorb those micronutrients, and we need dependable daily supply. The Framingham study and all the other studies that I'm planning on, the mainstream, the big, large-scale epidemiological studies that I'm planning on critiquing, which will have the same sort of script, but just different comments. There's no mention of micronutrients. Dependability. You can't get it from food because our soils are depleted of minerals. If the minerals aren't in our food, if the minerals aren't in the soil, they don't end up in the food and they don't end up into us. So for the dependability idea with mineral intake, dependable daily supply, you need to digest it and then absorb it. And depending on your condition, your age, there's a few nuances in there, and in each of the show notes I've got a link there if you want to reach out. This is the free part, and then there's costly parts for the astute health seeker that can't get answers from the mainstream healthcare complex, the allopaths. And yes, I'm not accredited, and thank goodness I'm not, because none of the accredited nutritionists and the medical fraternity, some naturopaths don't even acknowledge 60 minerals, 90 declared essential micronutrients, which is 60 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, 2 essential fatty acids. And as part of that is I have my health regimen, the Health 44. Health happens when you take away those 4 classes of food: gluten, oils, sugars, nitrates. Then the second 4, the 44, is supplementing with those minerals, vitamins, amino acids, essential fatty acids. Your metabolic syndrome complex, your cardiovascular disease, if Framingham study would insert that into their treatment, their guidelines, their I was going to mention genetics before. We won't get too far. Our life expectancy is likely to drop. Yes, I've made many a comment in past episodes where for each century we'll drop 5 years in life expectancy. And with genetics now into the third generation and further in that Framingham study, we're starting to blame genetics, your lifestyle choices, even more. If it doesn't include understanding micronutrients, forget it. There won't be much traction. A little bit of traction, friction, okay. But 2 years more life, maybe. But not 20 plus years of life like we should be aiming for. And that's where the micronutrients comes in. So I've made my point with the Framingham study. They're just shoehorning our ideas of exercise more, eat less, don't eat fat because eating fat makes you fat. I eat plenty of fat and I'm not fat. You're lucky. 5 years ago I wasn't. There it is. Okay, until the next time, hopefully. Thanks to the 2.2 regulars, and bye-bye now.